Welcome back to the main conference room. I hope you all had enriching discussions in your respective sessions. We now move to the final academic session of our conference, the roundtable discussion. Before we begin the discussion, we would like to take a special moment to honor our esteemed moderator, Professor Pamela Bernard. Professor Bernard is an internationally acclaimed scholar whose work has fundamentally shaped the global discourse on creativity, the arts, and education. Her leadership extends directly to our conference, where she has graciously served in the dual roles, delivering a congratulatory speech and moderating this capstone discussion. We are immensely grateful for her presence and leadership. Now, I will hand over microphone to Professor Bernard to lead this important discussion.
Thank you for that amazing introduction. Really, I'm very humbled to be here and to be sharing this time with everyone. And there we go, that's better. So in saying this is an important moment in this really important event where we come together to make sense of what we've been hearing, to put it into context, put it into your own context. And we have a dream team on this panel. I'm so proud to be introducing them, but they are going to be opening up, new ideas and kind of consolidating what we've been hearing, also from their own research and their own understanding and perspectives from their countries, but also extending it out to the invitation to the question of how do we pay closer attention to disciplinary integration, to transversal creativity, to multimodal meanings, and to really get deeper into redefining subject discipline territories and their meeting place. So with all that in mind, I'm going to say to this incredible panel, starting with Christoph, then Wen Qin and Se-Yung Han and Carla Pinto, haven't discussed how this hour and a half is going to progress, but I assume but because we are improvisers and we're intuitive, we're analytical, and we understand the need to chew on the bone, chew down and understand what's just happened today and what's happening in their world. I presume everyone has time to talk, and then we come together, because I've got three killer questions that I really got my sharpened intelligence together to ask of the panel to end the session, and also to engage this global learning community with their questions. Because it's not enough to put them in the chat. We want to hear from you. We want to engage with you. So in this moment, are we saying 10 minutes each? How long have you prepared? Someone speak to me from the panel. How long?
Yes.
Minutes.
Well, I don't know, but at least, sorry. Yeah, you can speak, Christoph. You know better.
You're fine with me, 10 minutes.
5 minutes each?
Yeah. 5.
10 is okay.
Shock. That's a shock.
The angry time. Yeah. I can talk 1 minute. I can talk 10 seconds. 7 seconds.
That's not helpful. Okay, Christoph, when you finish, Wing will start, and then Se-Yung and Carlo and Se-Yung, and then I will ask you some questions, although I think I'll probably ask the audience to discuss and ask you questions, because we need to hear from our learning community, this global community that's with us today. It's very precious to have them here. So they will engage with questions put to the chat, and I'll sort of sift and sort and arrange that. And then we'll end with a couple of my must-ask questions as well. So we begin with Christoph. Off you go.
Thanks a lot, Pam, for being here today with us. I know it wasn't easy, and you are here smiling, giving us hope, even in the times of in many ways, but we get over together with your fantastic creative leadership here to perform with us. Flowers, books, many comments actually received on site about your fantastic atmosphere, which really invite us into your space of thinking. So I even feel a little bit bad about my little bit alienating title of this short talk. Technology augmentability as a graduate characteristics. Okay, this is blah blah, but creative learning ecosystems, maybe that makes something sense. So I will unfold this interesting concept, technology augmentability, in the talk. Graduate characteristics means, of course, that what are our expectations from our graduates in higher education? What kind of skills, what kind of competencies are we looking for when we educate in higher education? And how creative learning ecosystems can play a role. So this is the topic of this short contribution today. And to start my talk, I try to actually start my slides. And of course, we talk a lot about future education. We talk about technology, future technologies, emerging technologies, and we see a very complex phenomenon today, that how a single technology, which is sort of a mega tech, which is generative AI, but it's a single solution. How this single solution sort of kicked off the door of school, and how it entered into our educational learning ecosystem, and how it posed a lot of risks and a lot of rearrangements in this ecosystem, and how the balance of our ecosystem is really in question by a single technology. So I think this is something new, something alarming, something unprecedented, if you want. And we know the story, how it evolved. We know the Kondratiev cycles theory. We also talk about that. What does it mean that we live in the age of transformation of information, digital age, information age, and also we know that how this process is accelerating, and many of the notions that, like, we talk about education 5.0, we talk about industrial revolution 5.0, but it's worth to recognize that all the previous educational models and all the previous industrial revolutions are here with us at the same time. And when we think about that, this wireless cloud technology, many things which suggest some kind of immaterial solution, some kind of immaterial presence in our world, is heavily based on very hard material facts, that wireless require wires, and also the AI tech energy requires 19th century and 20th century solutions to produce this massive energy what we need. However, when we have this very high cost to be paid in all levels for this change what we are experiencing, then maybe we need to think even more critically that how do we spend this incredible credit what we are wasting actually day by day for using this technology to not get this energy resources wasted. So we can also see that how this Gen AI adoption policies also allow some situations. Don't get offended by this slide. This is Oxford, not Cambridge, on the picture. So we see this traditionally leading universities, many hundreds of years. We know that which are those centers of knowledge. But my question would be that can we spend this incredible credit even on that way, that it produces some kind of leapfrog development, and not our ecosystem piece is disturbed only, but we can see also some kind of surprisingly good movement is happening in the educational scene, that some unexpected higher education practice is jump into the front, whatever this front line means in this context. To illustrate my thought, I would like to remind just a few examples. So we know very well the zipline story in Rwanda. So there are no appropriate routes how to transport goods. Why not to use drone technology to deliver the needed medicine and whatever to remote places? We also see that how bullet train system is currently revolutionizing Chinese economy. And also we have seen in Kenya that how this single mobile solution called M-Pesa also managed to revitalize Kenyan economy in many ways. However, we also see very alarming examples that how, for example, different implants are in use already, for example, in military technology to support soldiers' deployment in remote areas, how they can overcome their limitations of their skills, for example, how they can adapt to various challenging situations when we sent them into war. So, but let's think about rather that how this expansion of human capacities and competencies and skills can be used in a meaningful way in education for creativity, and to not only consider Gen AI and AI solutions in general for tasks what we have already done very efficiently to do them just quicker, but how we can also come up with new kind of solutions and new kind of capabilities which weren't achievable by individuals anytime before, how we can augment our skills and capacities, how we can enhance with the technology creatively our skills. So this is actually the term what technology augmentability tries to cover. So can it be a strategic opportunity? Can it be even a new skill? Augmentability, this is a question that when we were talking about open mindset and this kind of metaphors earlier, but now when we get more concrete with augmentation, can we discuss it? Can we study it as a new kind of skill to make our students augmentable to be ready to expand with the help of technology and in a creative sense? So this of course, lead us back to one of our opening speakers. In addition to Pam Bernard's theory and practices of multiple creativities and the multimodality of creativities, we also need to discuss with the help of Vlad Glevano the agency. We need to reinterpret the term of agency in this current development, and how we can see agency as a meta capability in this context, and how we can look at this augmentability also as a meta capability, and how this can come together to warrant for the creative expansion of the skills and competencies. So, of course, there are many limitations and many biases that we need to consider. Just a few to mention. This tool-centric bias. We have already studies which point out that all the essays that students wrote with the help of AI, they just don't simply remember what they wrote about, even if they contributed to a large amount. MIT published a study about this not so long ago. We also see the question of inequity, over-reliance, and opacity of these technologies. Opacity means totally against that what we learned about scientific epistemology in the last many centuries, that science must be based on transparent technologies and transparent techniques. So this new multiple black boxes connected in the AI systematics. This is completely against it. Also, autonomy and agency, ethics and agency, the datafication and agency. These are all now this kind of heavy grounds to consider. So, also to show you in the end, in my last few seconds, an example of how our University of Jyväskylä tried to build on this augmentability as a new skill. We introduced a new program. It's a bachelor program in immersive software engineering and AI. And we will change the whole training structure. It will be fully project-based learning, where the new students can work directly with companies already after their first year on real-world projects. And of course, they will use all these emerging technologies to test this augmentability based education. So with this visibility, I would like to invite you to check out these websites. I will put that in the chat later. And if there are someone in the audience who would like to earn a BA in this program or would like to spread the information, I'm happy to give more information about this new practical example of what I was trying to cover in this talk. So thanks a lot for your attention, and I get back to Pam. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Christoph. We all want to move to Finland. You know this. Thank you so much.
Welcome. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you for that beautifully critical kind of balanced view of the agency and the things, the importance of looking in a balanced way at what these new technologies and AI is offering, but also taking away, or how we mediate, in education for those critical thinking lens that we must bring to its usage. Thank you for that. Lots of questions. Please put your questions into the chat now, and I will, unless there's someone with an urgent question they really want to ask Christoph right now, it has to be asked right now. It's urgent for the preservation of humanity to ask the question now. No? You're happy to put it into the chat. Fantastic. Well, with that in mind, into the chat, and we will come back and address those questions. But let's move on to Wing Kin Cheng and a view from Hong Kong on these questions. Over to you, Wing Chen.
Thank you. Now let's wait. I put some link on the chat, and in my presentation, there's some examples that you can click the link. You can see some example from Hong Kong mathematics teachers, how they try it out with the AI tools. Okay, now let me start with my presentation. And my presentation today is towards a teacher training model in using AI in teaching mathematics. So first of all, wait. Okay. Now, this project started last year, and there are different aims. And in this presentation, I just talk about the second one, how teachers use AI to help them in teaching and learning. And it turns out that we can see lots of creativity from our math teachers. And you can see the example that I share you in the chat room. They are differ a lot from the traditional way in teaching mathematics. And those are some examples that teachers tried out how they can use AI to help them in teaching. And the first question to the teachers is that how AI tools can help math teacher to teach, and can the teacher use AI tools in a more effective way? Can AI to create some tailor-made individual materials that student needs? And there are lots of questions that math teacher would like to ask. I don't go over them one by one. And the next question that quite a lot of teachers they always ask is that what AI tools should be used for the mathematics teachers? And the answer to them, ChatGPT, Copilot, POE, no, those are Gen AI. And in mathematics, there are quite a lot of situations that students need to learn problem solving. They do it in a logical sequence. So what AI tools can help them in learning? Okay, so here I list out some of those tools that might be good to the math teachers. And here later on, I have some example to you. And now in our research, we do it in a bottom-up approach. We just let teacher choose whatever tool they want to use. Our project, we subscribe some tools. We pay for the tools, and some teacher they can request to use some of those tools. And we find out that the theorized math picks they are quite good. And later on, we have some example. And we also ask teachers, after they tried out the tools, ask them to present it on online seminar to share the good practice to other teachers. And the finding is that most teachers they use AI to relate it to the teaching practice. They want to prepare exercise for the student, tests and quizzes, and because of heavy duty marking load and heavy workload, they want to reduce those workload. And sometimes they face some very difficult questions, maybe some math competition question. They take lots of time in handle it. They want to have the AI to help them to get the solution. So these are some of the questions that lots of math teachers they would like to use AI to help them. And now, next, let me share different example to you about how teachers in Hong Kong they use AI. The first example here it is about using Copilot to identify student mistake. And it find out that it can help student to identify the mistake. And the next one, this one is the problem solving ability. And this one we use theorize. I think you and get the link from the chat, you can just simply click the link. This is slide 8, I think. And you can see the dialogue. The teacher just snip the image and then put it to theta repo, and you can see the solution. It is quite impressive, I think. I don't go over it. You can refer it to the link that I share with you. And the next one is preparing exercise for the student. And this one, the teacher, he used POE to help him to generate this kind of exercise and solution set. And it turns out that the teacher find it really very efficient. Once the teachers can have a good dialogue with the AI, then this problem solution set is generated. And it saves teacher a lot of time because the teacher will find that most of time is to prepare exercise for student, and they need to have some such kind of exercise that fits individual student need. Okay. And this one, if you click the link, and it is a mathematic competition question, and you can see that this question is not that easy. And the teacher find out that theta repo can help him to generate a set of solution, guided solution. And the hint is that if you just put the question to the AI to sometime it generates some wrong answer, wrong solution to you. And it would be good that the teacher also enter the answer. And once the AI tool generates the solution, it would compare with the answer. If they does not match, then the AI tool will regenerate it until it gives the final correct answer. And this kind of activity, I think it really help teacher a lot, particularly for solving some very difficult question like the math competition question. And the next one, this one, Julius AI, and I think the teachers sometimes find really time consuming in creating such kind of bar chart, and the next one, the histogram. And the teachers have some dialogue with the AI tools, Julius AI, and it can give the very nicely made figure, the picture, the bar chart and the histogram. And the next one, it shows how PhotoMath it can support. This is a mobile app with AI support, and the student or the teacher, they can just use the mobile phone, take a photo, scan the question, and it generates the solution. Not just only the solution, it also gives some step-by-step solution, and also with the graph. And I think it can enhance student knowledge, not just only looking for the specific solution to tackle that problem, but also have help them to make connection to different perspectives in solving that question. Okay, and this one, it is an example from a student. A teacher share this example with me. The student find this question, I think this is upper senior secondary question, not that easy. And the student faced the problem. She don't understand the question. So she did not know how to tackle the problem. And the student tried out with the theta rise and generate some solution, some guideline to the student, and finally, student understand the question. You can see how AI tools can help student to understand question. And the next one again, this one is a student example. Again, it is contributed from a student. And this one, the student, based on the question again, this is upper senior about the differentiation question. And you can see on the right side, this is the student work. And the student did not know where she got the wrong answer. And and she asked the theaterites, and you can see from the link that how theaterite give the solution and point out the correct way in doing the question. And the next one again, this one is theaterize, and I think this one is an excellent tool for math teachers. I must highly encourage to try it out theaterize. And in the last few months, it launched something called practice section. And this one, the teacher just need to set the grade, and it generate different question. And you can see this arrow sign, and the teachers or the student, when they just click this button, it would lower the difficulty of this question. And if you click the upper button, it will level up, make it more difficult. Okay, and it also allows student to add some question. If the student find out this kind of indefinite integral question, he or she would like to have some more practice to train himself or herself the skill, then he can add question to it. And the other one, this one is prompt generator, because when we interact with AI tool very often, it takes lots of time. But if you can use some kind of prompt generator, this one is created by one of our teachers. He find that the prompt generator help him to get some good prompt to interact with AI. You can try it out. And the next one, it is about the interplay between different AI tools. Sometimes someone creates, interact with POE, get the good answer, but somehow the teacher want to copy it and put it in Word and then want to edit it. But he couldn't do it because the format is it changed to totally different format. And the other one, it is a math pix. This one you can just simply snap the image and put it to math pix, and it change it to editable Word, so that the teacher, they can use equation editor in Word to handle it. Okay, and here are different evaluation on the different AI tool. Again, I don't go over all of them. And the insight from the teacher's work is that we need to choose the right tools, and we need to set some good prompt generator, and prompt library is a good way that we can help the student and teachers to have good interaction with the AI tools. And the next one, it is about the interplay between the AI, different AI tools. And I think we have huge opportunity in exploring this in this area. Okay, um, and we can see that with AI, we can have some creative learning. It can provide students with self-directed learning environment, and it can allow students to make their own choices. We talk about agency, right? And also it can provide instant feedback to the student. And the question is whether the solution given by the AI tools is reliable. But if we can solve some good AI tool which give reliable solution to the student, then that would be a very excellent tool. And students need to learn the skill to interact with AI too. And it implies that our mathematics teachers, we need to equip them with AI literacy. And that's why in the last in this year, I conducted 3 online workshops with local mathematics teachers. We have 3 online workshops, and and uh, after the workshop, here we put the PowerPoint slide from the local teacher in this Google site. And we also test some real-time online transcription. And we find out that the accuracy is quite high, 90% accuracy in the transcription. And now it turned to the next one about the further research direction for my research here. So I think it is good that we explore different AI platform, build prompt library, and also develop teachers' AI literacy. And towards teacher training framework. And the next project that I would plan to conduct is this one. It's about an international AI training for mathematics teachers and international AI learning circle for mathematics teachers. And I would like to see if any collaborator in other country would like to join us. For each participating country, I think one academic would be in charge of the collaboration. And I would like to extend this kind of online teacher training workshop in an international level, and in seminar, we'd like to recruit like 3 in-service teachers to share the good practice. So that's what I'm doing recently with this AI for the math teachers. Thank you. Thank you for listening.
Thank you so much. Wow, what an amazingly rich, exciting offer that you've made in the chat. Please save the chat, everyone. Go up to the top of the drop down thing, and you'll see save chat. Really amazing. I can see the way you're working with teachers to enhance their AI literacy with all of these tools, with a critical view of the sort of, it's the smorgasbord, isn't it, to choose correctly, to save time, but it's more than that, enhancing the teaching and the learning. Are there any questions, please, other than those you want to put into the chat? Otherwise, we move on. But amazing richness, Wing Kin Chen, what you're offering. And I will be in touch with you, because I know of a couple of mathematics teachers who would be very interested in your work and joining with you. So more from me later. Anyone else? Anyone else? No? Okay. Going, gone. Right. We move on to So Young Han, who's from South Korea, a professor of the Seoul Institute of the Arts. Over to you, please. Suyun.
Hi. Hello. Thank you to the organizers, and thank you to everyone over here. I'd like to today. I'd like to. My name is Suyun from Seoul Institute of the Arts. Today, I briefly critique current future education debates and propose how an autonomous education centered perspective, what I called endogenous theory of education, can reframe ecosystems for creative learning. So I aim to leave you with the concrete ways to think about AI, interdisciplinarity, and well-being with losing the intrinsic purpose of education. So I'd like to share my okay, this is okay. My slide. Okay, so let's go. Over the last 2 decades, I think discussions about future education have polarized into 2 broad trends. First, there is a technology and policy-driven stream. Scholars and policymakers who emphasizes and the rapid adaptation to the 4th industrial revolution, advocating competency frameworks, AI adoption, and systematic reforms. Second, there is a critical humanist stream that warns against technocentrism, neoliberal reduction of learning to measurable outputs, and the erosion of educational processes. Both streams produce valuable insights, but both also share a blind spot. They rarely ask, in a robust theoretical way, what is education itself? So this is the central problem I want to foreground. In too many debates, education is used as if its meaning is self-evident, equated with schools, policies, competency lists, or technology-enabled interventions. As a result, Debates multiply around methods and instruments, while the phenomena that requires explanation, such as education as a distinct human practice with intrinsic aim, remains under-theorized. That vagueness makes it difficult to assess whether proposed technologies or reforms actually serve educational ends. So I summarized 3 recurring and interrelated problematic perspectives in the literature. The first, education collapsed into institution and policy. The school and ministry become proxies for education. Theory is subordinated to bureaucratic or popular common sense. Second, education is explained using external disciplinary categories such as psychology, economics, engineering, or data science, without clarifying which educational questions those disciplines cannot answer. So this yields conceptual drift. Educational aims are reframed as technical problems. The end state or competency list is treated as the definition of education. Education becomes a delivery mechanism for predefined results, which invites circular reasoning and transfers responsibility for social issues onto schooling alone. So these 3 tendencies together obscure education's intrinsic, processual, and communal character. So if we accept an ambiguous or instrumental view of education, then ecosystems for creative learning risk becoming either platforms for optimization or sites for commodified skills training. AI and interdisciplinary tools are then evaluated primarily by efficiency or alignment with pre-specified competencies. We lose sight of education's role cultivating meaning and the shared understanding and the essential process for growth of human being. So I propose an alternative orientation, an autonomous education-centered theory, which is called the endogenous theory of education, suggested by Sang-Ho Chang from Korea. So the key commitments are like this. Education is a form of life, a form of life with its own internal value, intrinsic value, aims, and criteria, and the structure, not reducible to economic, technological, or purely instrumental measures. The second, education realizes human potential through communal dialogic practice, where learners and educators jointly conforms values and meanings. The third, tools, technologies, and interdisciplinary inputs are conditions or materials or facilitators. They are not the defining substance or aim of the education. This perspective, we evaluate ecosystem and technologies by how well they support education's inner process, questioning shared validation rather than only by their capacity to deliver measurable outputs. So let me briefly reframe the 4 sub-themes of this conference of endogenous theory of education. Okay, the first sub-agenda was collaborative ecosystem. I propose design partnerships that protect space for joint meaning making, governance models that preserve educational autonomy rather than outsourcing curriculum to platforms. Second, student-centered AI sub-agenda. I would like to propose treat AI as a dialogic assistant that prompts deeper inquiry and supports iterative craftsmanship, not as an automated grader or alignment engine. Emphasize co-design with learners so agency remains central. Okay, the third sub-agenda, which is interdisciplinary sustainability. I propose, I would like to use this interdisciplinary to expand the shared problems that education addresses, but keep value formation and civic imagination at the center. Sustainability education should cultivate stewardship, education value, not only technical skill. Okay, the fourth, well-being in learning environments. I'd like to propose prioritize processual well-being, the capacity to reflect, relate, and flourish as members of learning communities rather than only measurable mental health metrics. Okay, the final, to close, I offer 3 brief invitations for research, design, and policy. As for the research, I'd like to propose conduct conceptually rigorous case studies that treat education as an irreducible phenomenon. Study how values and meanings actually emerge in classroom and community ecologies. Okay, for design, I'd like to propose build AI-supported learning tools that foreground dialogic prompts, curiosity, scaffolds, and reflect cycles instead of mere personalization for efficiency. Okay, for this policy part, I would like to propose create governance instruments that protect educational autonomy in partnerships with industry and civil society, include metrics that account for process and communal formation. So thank you all, and I look forward to the discussion. For the roundtable, I would especially like to ask, how can we design AI tools that enhance shared questioning without replacing the teacher's role? And how can policy balance innovation with protection of education's intrinsic aims? Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you so much. That was really very interesting. And there are 3 questions in the chat, which 2 of them I've put in, and another one I'm going to put in shortly about exploring what do you mean by collaborative ecosystems? What does that look like? But I'll put that in next. For now, are there any pressing questions? Again, a different perspective, really, Soo-Young. You were looking at the question of, what is education, a really kind of sort of philosophical and a ontological, an epistemological question that looks at what is education. Let's start there. Where with Christoph, he was looking at balancing, ecosystems with AI. And Wing-Kin, you were looking at mathematics and offering AI tools that were rich with ideas and agency and efficiencies. So let's see. Where will Carla take us? Carla, over to you. You there, Carla?
Yes, I am. Sorry, I was muted. Sorry. Yes, I am here. Thank you so much. First of all, I would like to thank very much the organizers. It's really an honor to be here again in this roundtable. Thank you, Seyuk. I don't know if I'm pronouncing it correctly. If not, I am so sorry. And hi, thank you. So I am now addressing to Pam, of course, as the moderator of this roundtable. Again, really nice to meeting you online. I hope someday we will meet in person again. Yeah, and I also address to all of the other speakers of the roundtable. Christoph, I'm sorry if I'm not pronouncing it correctly. Sia. Um, Also, when, okay, so I'm addressing all, okay? Thank you so much. So can I start sharing my presentation, please?
Please do.
Okay, share. Um, okay, okay. It says only participant can share at a time, so I don't know if anyone needs to stop sharing.
Can you make
Okay, now I can do it. Okay, now I can do it.
share?
Okay. Yeah, share. Okay, so it's in the last slide. Sorry for that. Oops. So here. Okay. So I will make it full screen, okay? And okay, can you see it? Okay, perfect. Thank you so much.
Yes.
I saw you. Okay, artificial intelligence is extremely important nowadays, as you know, and it has an extreme and huge development. So the velocity is, I think we were never in this type of, change in the world, and not only in education, but in everywhere, in all of our activities, because AI is pushing us from industry to education, including also in justice, okay, ethics, etc. And so we are really in in a very challenging, defiant place. This is why I included here these two movies because I really think that they kind of bring, as usual in the movies, okay, we also have, for example, Contagion, which was in 2009, and then we have the COVID-19 pandemic in 2020. So if you see the movie Contagion, you can actually, see a lot of which is even striking, because there are a lot of similarities with COVID-19 pandemic and how it was spread. So go there, and if you feel like you should, if you feel like you want to check this, so go there, and you'll see for yourself. So the movies always bring us some highlights for the future, not only to the past. So we have generative AI, and it's in our schools, whether we like it or not. I like it very much, but there are a lot of things that we need to take, just like all of panel members have, shared with us, and all of the other speakers of this conference. As you know, I already said this. Generative artificial intelligence is really, shaking our world, really. So we did just to let you know very briefly, we did a study here in the Polytechnic of Porto, and for all the schools. So we are a lot of teachers. The Polytechnic has the Polytechnic of Porto, more than 20,000 students. I work in the School of Engineering. It's the biggest school. I teach mathematics there and future engineers. And we got our research question was this one. What are the perceptions, experiences, and concerns of higher education institution educators, so teachers, of distinct scientific domains? Because we have from accountability to engineer to education to tourism to what's the other one, management, etc. So we have a lot of scientific areas. So what are their perceptions regarding the incorporation of generative artificial intelligence in their classrooms? And so we did the quantitative methodology, and the survey was disseminated along the 8 schools of the Polytechnic of Porto. We had 35 questions, blah, 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 so it's just to move forward, okay? And the responses were collected anonymously, and then we used statistics too. So inferential statistics also to study the data. We got 134 valid responses, and so we used non-parametric tests such as Mann-Whitney, independence tests, etc. So it's more or less 54% females, 45.5% were male, and some of them have integrated and some didn't. So the majority haven't integrated still, 68.7% of all these sample. So they used, females are in, I don't know if you can see it, but are in orange, and male are in dark blue. So females used a lot, looks like ChatGPT. I don't, in my class is not so far because it has a lot of mistakes. It can even, and I saw it, it can even reproduce proofs, correct, not correct, so detailed proofs or theorems which are wrong. So it starts, let's assume blah, 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 all of the, how do you say, the syntax of theorems, and it's wrong. So it's still learning, right? Just like we say, as I used to say, if you and 500,000 people more tell ChatGPT that 2 + 2 is 3.8, the next person, this is very simplistic, okay? But this is how it works. There's, it will say 3.8, okay? Why? Because it works with algorithms. Algorithms work with probabilities. Probabilities work with the data that they get, the prompts that a lot of people, give to it. Fits the algorithm. So yeah, this happens. So that's why I'm still not using it, okay? It's because we have a lot to move forward with respect to, to have a real artificial intelligence, generative artificial intelligence application that knows how to do mathematics, okay? So, so this is lab of the future, hopefully, and hopefully it's just around the corner, as I used to say. And this was one of the projects in which I will include the links on the chat, in which we developed with a company digital escape rooms for freshmen attending calculus courses in higher education. So in the School of Engineering, we had a lot of partners, and we also managed to test the escape rooms with students throughout Europe. That's true. From what's called, I forgot the name. Sorry, I'm tired. From people in Sweden, from Karlstad University in Sweden, so students in Greece, students in Spain, in Portugal, of course, students in Romania. So, and we had more partners. I'm sorry, I don't remember now, but it was, throughout, we managed to disseminate and test our digital escape rooms. So, questions. What are we doing right now in this regard with respect to Gen AI integration in higher education? Are we monitoring the progress? Are we using it efficiently? Look, there's a lot of, studies from UNESCO, from US Department, from IT. I have here Justin Reich. I could not put it there. Sorry, I didn't have time. We also have Feng Shun Miao, who I'll follow in LinkedIn, and he posts a lot of interesting studies related to the effective use of artificial intelligence. There are some studies who says, and this is also extremely important, because we need to be aware that these type of studies also exist, and this is for the bad things. Someone wrote, personalized learning activities are better than the teachers. I can Google this again, and it's written in a paper somewhere. I can Google this again and send you the citation. But what exactly does this mean? No, it can't. In order to understand your students, you need to have empathy. Machines don't have empathy. They don't have feelings. You need to teach them the feelings, and they cannot. I know with cameras, blah blah blah, and how do you say? It's cameras that detect your facial expressions, etc. But there's so much more than what you show, right? So a teacher is always needed because in front of you, you have human beings, and they can, trick you in the sense that they can be totally depressed and have a smile. And you have to be a human to be able to distinguish between this, between one who is genuinely sorry, laughing or smiling, and someone who is not. So no, the teachers cannot be replaced. We interact with our students. Sometimes students even come to us and say, look, I'm sorry, but I couldn't finish this on time because my mom got sick, because so anyway, I don't know how people can write these things, but they do. Uh, so there is also a lot of good, I will finish soon, I hope. So there's also another thing by another paper by Ken Ono about mathematical discovery in the age of AI, which is also extremely important. And also something that I saw, I think this week, there's a study on how I even shared on my social networks, how AI will divide the best from the rest. We know life is not fair. And if we do not teach our students to use it properly, then the difference between poor people and rich people in higher education will increase. I think the gap, so I wouldn't like to live in a world like that. So also there's a lot of other things. How do we address plagiarism in the age of AI, right? Other things, data leaks and privacy violations, environmental and economical sustainability, and a lot of other things more. So I always include this slide. Sorry, it's because I fully agree with it. I don't know if it was Winston Churchill, but from what he did in the Second World War, I probably I tend to believe that he was the one writing this sentence. And also, when the student is ready, the teacher appears. But when the student is truly ready, the teacher disappears, but it doesn't disappear just like as if he's not needed. it means like that the student is in another stage and he needs probably another teacher, another mentor, you know? So, I hope I so ChatGPT told me how to write thank you in Korean, South Korean, sorry. And if you have any questions or remarks, I will be glad to share. Okay, thank you so much again to the organizers.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. And it's a fantastic provocations that you've brought to the table. And we now have the panel to come together and address. There's many questions in the chat, and I'm going to pose sort of 4 questions from the chat at one time, with accompanied by our thank you to all presenters, because we've got again a kind of wonderful triangulation looking at the fact that Gen AI is transforming education. Question about it. It's transforming society. No question about it. But in education, how are we? And here is one question, a wonderful question, which is saying Gen AI is posing a threat to the future of learners being able to actually in time sufficiently develop critical thinking and computational thinking, but particularly critical thinking. How are we dealing with this priority as opposed to just using Gen AI tools? There's one question. You can choose which of these questions you answer, panel. How to design AI so we don't replace teachers? How do we design, the AI and have students learn questioning, these prompts and critical prompts, going deeper into these critical promptings without replacing teachers? Very important question. And there was another question, around the conceptual and practical perspectives on autonomous education. And this was a question to Su Yun, but I think it's a question to all 4 panelists as well, in terms of how is AI changing the nature of education. So you can either show your critical thinking and bring those 3 questions together into a synthesized answer, or just take one of them. Who wants to take it first? First response from our panel. Panelists, are you still there?
Yes, we are, but Christopher's was the first one. So maybe he wishes to intervene as the first one. I just spoke.
Okay,
so maybe he's not available.
It doesn't have to be in any particular order, and maybe panelists don't want to address any of those 3 questions. It's up to you. I think
Christoph was trying to unmute himself, this is why we're not hearing him.
Do you want to reply?
Me?
No, Christoph.
Yeah, he's muted still. So this is why.
Let's just wait for him to unmute. Let me ask Han. Can I ask Professor Soo-Yeon Han? Because one of those questions was directed directly to you and in the chat. Would you like to reply to that question around autonomous education? How do conceptual and practical perspectives on sort of autonomous education, how is this holding up under the pressures of Gen AI?
So actually it's very conceptual proposed, actually theoretical proposed, because I want to share the idea with you guys that education is not schooling. It's different from schooling. Education is not a function. Education is not an instrumental, how can I say, it's not, it's more than the function itself. So but we never dig in the concept of education even though we cannot live without education at all, since the human being presents in the earth, I think. So we vigorously study about the concept, the theoretical concept of education in our group, a study group. And we've been thinking about education is different from schooling, different from function, different from policy. So while we are talking about education or creative education and so on, I don't think we can share the idea. We cannot communicate because we are using education in a very different terms with very different perspectives. So I want to suggest that we need to, if we want to share the ideas about what the purpose of education or what the function of the education in 21st century, at first we need to figure out what the concept education is. So that is the Sang-Woo Chang, the endogenous theory of education is one of them. It's just it's been 30 years for us to study, and then it focuses on the process, not the result. So in this concept, creativity is not a result or goal of education, the one found throughout the process of ascending education. Ascending education in our conceptual term, education is a form of life which led us to dig in to in some area if we do not know, and we how can I say, naturally we want to share it with someone else who are in the same situation when in the past where we were. So that kind of very natural form of life resides all over through our life, but we didn't have the concrete theory of to figure it out, to discover the phenomena by itself. So if we understand the education, everybody can have their own type of education, own theory, but my theory, according to Chang's theory, we agreed upon education is an autonomous world of a human being. It has many results, and it has many functions, but we do not know yet because it is to be proved as we lived. But we do not know the structure, the process by itself, and we assume that it has intrinsic value in the process itself. So if we ground on the concept of education like that, then every situation that we are worrying about, the 21st century education can be different. Yeah, so that's the one that I want to share, that the idea that with you. So
Thank you so much. And we'll come back to that question because I'd like everyone to think about, that very important way of thinking of the values of education and what it is that Soo-Yeon is talking about here, and how this might look in terms how it might influence the ecosystems of that we're speaking of in this conference, because the main agenda was ecosystems and environment for creative learning. So how would that philosophy, how would that theory change? And I'll come back to you so that we Soo-Yeon, so we can hear up from other panelists. But I will come back to you to ask, what would that theory look like in ecosystems for creative learning, as defined within, as encountered by STEAM education? But I see that Carla's had a hand up for quite a long time. Carla, your turn.
It's okay. Christoph can talk too. First, I'm it's up to us. So, but if you want to, just very briefly, I agree with Sia, but I just wanted to add that education rules the world. So it has always been seen as a global thing, from politics to social things happening in countries. For example, here in Portugal, all of the dictatorship went down because people in universities, they started to form these groups. So education is everywhere. We just need to promote this global sense also into our students. Okay, thank you.
Thank you so much. Good point. Good point added to the debate here. You're making the point that we have a global education and it's rolling forward, and how we encounter that sort of neoliberalism that seems to be a global phenomenon is an important debate to have. But I see another hand up from Chang Ho, and I'm wanting to encourage the community, our global community, to make some comments. So Chang Ho, would you like to speak, please?
I think it's Christoph.
Today, yeah, so we are sharing this live session here with my colleagues. So Andrew Mangenia made a very interesting question, very important question from Zimbabwe. So Andrew is teaching computer science in a leading university of Zimbabwe. However, he teaches in an environment where there are no appropriate computers and sometimes not even electricity. You can imagine the challenges. And when we ask about the question of does means a threat for critical thinking skills, computational skills, problem solving skills, etc. I would like to say that technology not necessarily means a threat in itself. However, the lack of technology is meaning a huge threat when there are possessors of technology who will use that anyway and not willing to share technologies. And we know it from the 70s, 80s, like Paul Virilio, the philosopher of speed, who studied this tremendous acceleration what we experience nowadays. He told that every new technology is also coming with new types of catastrophes, new types of accidents. I think this is another thing what we need to consider very tremendously when we are talking about this mega technologies with mega resource needs. And also we have some AI-based robots what we use in kindergartens to teach English. Actually, these robots came from Hong Kong, and we study how to use them. And these robots are not to replace teachers, but to assist teachers, first of all. But when we make interviews with the children, how they perceive these robots in their environment, of course, they are very enthusiastic that these robots are coming into their space. And actually in Finland, we already have these food delivery robots working. Also, the cleaning robots have also many multiple functions in the supermarket. So these robots are not anymore locked up into some warehouses and, to work in the background, but these are really coming into our ecosystem. So one little girl, like 3-year-old girl or 4-year-old girl, answered really struck me when she told that to the question, okay, what did you learn today with this robot? And she told that I learned how to treat robots. And I think this is something key here, because even we have robots, we have amazingly capable technologies. It's still the human which sort of remains responsible how to use them, how to treat them, and how to treat other people throughout these technologies. When you log in to your operational system, you will see icons and different kind of mechanisms, how you can operate your computer, whatever. This reflects also ethics, and this reflects also human to human vision, how the designers imagined that how human to human relationships should be. So I think this is really key here to consider that not like this human and technology is something two different realms, but these are also relational models and also relational phenomenon about what we need to consider here. And I think if it's a threat or not, that this depends only on us. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Christoph. A really important point about the relationality, the ethics, and the inclusion of this work. I want to ask Wing Kin Cheng, because you've not spoken yet, and you put a lot of resources in the chat for everyone, very generous, really wonderful. There was that question, around critical thinking and thinking about teachers not being replaced. I wonder if you had any responses to these questions.
Sure. And I think in a sense that if teachers just teach in a traditional way, then I think the teachers can be replaced by the AI, because if we just focus on, I mean, two exam-oriented drill student to learn some knowledge and skill, I think everything, once the AI platform can prepare such kind of material, and I think the AI can have the perfect answer, and you can also find lots of AI tutoring system that assist students to learn. And I think in the knowledge perspective, it can be replaced by AI. But I think the schooling cannot be replaced by AI, because other than learning the knowledge, the student they need to learn lots of generic skills such as problem solving, communication, collaboration, peers interactions, and also positive attitudes and values towards the national. And all these, I think it can't be replaced by the AI tools. And I think this is the value of our teachers. The teacher need to know what they have to deliver to the student. And also, I think that's why a very important direction that we need to turn to is to equip teachers AI literacy, so that the teachers, they will know how to collaborate with AI, so that they can create some good learning environment for the students, so that they can develop the generic skills. And more than that, I think the creativity of teachers is really important, because if the teachers they just stick to the old way in teaching, only confined in their own safe zone in teaching, I think they cannot catch up with the pace of the AI development. And I think the teachers, they also need to learn how to interact with AI, how to prompt AI, so that they can create something creative and something that help cater for learner differences, and something that knows the student needs, and not just about the knowledge. And I think that's my response to whether AI can be can replace our teachers.
Thank you so much. And I see, Carla, you've got your hand up again, have you?
Yes, but I'm writing on the chat if you just want to, to read
Please.
it. Anyway, yeah, exactly. So what I was saying, and I always say this, is that we need generative Gen AI, generative artificial intelligence. We need ChatGPT. We need all of the other, tools that we have available to us. The main idea here is not about the tools. The tools are mere algorithms that someone, you know, in the background types, and they learn from our own prompts, okay? And again, if someone writes something extremely wrong, it will, you know, next time, not someone, a lot of people, because it uses probabilities. So it goes and fetches words without, you know, without reasoning about it. So we need to really be aware that our students need our help to navigate in these new challenges. Okay, this is the main idea, because applying new tools, come on, let's bring it. We will do it, you know. But our students, some of them don't have parents or backup that allows them to, you know, that informs them, you know, about these new tools, the challenges, everything. And that's because sometimes, because of TikTok, etc., we have you know, teenagers dying, you know, committing suicide. So this is what I'm trying to refer, maybe because I'm a mom of two, but I do believe that we need to mentor our students, you know? Otherwise, some of them are already lost when they get to higher education. So we need to start very early, in kindergarten, for example. Okay?
Good
So
point. Thank you so
that's,
much.
yeah,
Gizem,
that's what I wanted to say.
so
Thank you.
much. Thank you. Gizem, you've written into the chat several times. Would you like to ask the question?
I've already talked with Carla through the chat, so I just all of us, the technology, we cannot we cannot deny it. It's here. So, but try to teach kids to design what they need. I mean, the core thing that we have to do is to teach values and ethics about this subject, so that while they're designing even technology or anything, they would use it in the in a good sense for the planet, not an egotistical way. Or now we are all afraid of these tech companies who are gaining the knowledge in their hands, right? We are all threatening about this. So how we can change this for children? We cannot do it for ourselves maybe, but starting from an early age, we can teach children to design with ethics, with values, with the good for the planet. This is not like a dream. It's what we have to do. That's all I want to say. And thank you for all the presentations and the knowledge I gained today. It was so good to be with all of you. Thank you.
Thank you so much for that comment. Very much valued. And as we draw this to a close, I want to thank the panelists for their passion and for their expertise, for their perspectives and the research. I mean, just hearing Carla do that important research that I think we should all be doing and looking at what are our perceptions, experiences and concerns as HE educators, as secondary school teachers, as teacher educators, and asking children as well those very same questions, because we need to understand each other and what our values are and how they are changing, if they are changing, in this sort of and re-territorialized way. I had a question which I'm now going to pose to everyone and not have a chance to hear what it is how you'd answer this, or maybe we will with the closing few minutes when our next speaker comes on. But here it is. Early this morning, or early this afternoon or this evening, you heard, I think it was Andreas Schleicher said, how can we create learning environments for futures? That was one of the statements made many hours ago. My question from that question, given that the main agenda for this event was to look at ecosystems and environments for creative learning. So here's my question asked to all of the global learning communities that are here today, and I thank you for your presence. What uniquely characterizes STEAM ecosystems and environments for creative learning in your context. I will write that into the chat, and if you've got time to write in a reply to that, please do. But for now, I thank you all and pass it on to Seung-Hae Park, Professor at South Korea, who will end this event. Thank you.
We extend our deepest gratitude to Professor Pamela Bona and all the distinguished panelists for concluding our conference with such a profound and inspiring discussion. It has truly been a wonderful session. Now, with a touch of relevance, it is time to draw the curtain on ICAS 2025. This successful conference was envisioned and led from the very beginning by our key figure, the president of the International Society for Advancement of STEAM and director of the Convergence Education Research Institute at Korea National University of Education, Professor Baek Sung-hye. Please join me in offering a hearty round of applause to welcome her for the closing remarks. Thank you.
I would like to express my deepest gratitude to everyone who participated in ICAS 2025 for your excellent presentation and insightful discussions. My sincerely thanks also go to our audience who have remained with us throughout these long hours. It is our sincere hope that this conference has helped to activate a meaningful academic exchange on our theme, ecosystems and environments for creative learning. We kindly ask for your continued participation and engagement in the future. Thanks a lot. Bye. Thank you.
바이바이. 바이바이.
고맙습니다.
됐습니다.
고맙습니다.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Thank you.
Bye-bye. Thank you.
Thank you.
안녕.